This is a much watched video. I've got the best RAM in Australia to do a video on his build. Mike plays for Diablo, who just recently won the major competition in Australia. Mike also competes in competitive foot under the organisation N8. Okay, so I've got Mike here. Are you there, Mike?
Yes, hello Jay.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so what's the reason you've chosen this height and weight?
I have chosen 5'10", 99 pounds because I feel the acceleration, agility, and sprint speed are very important for this FIFA, especially in attacks, because you can be all nippy, you can get in behind, you can dribble around players, you can beat players, especially with how OP the fullback build is. And of course, I've just gone 99 pounds because it's the lowest, gives you the most acceleration and sprint speed, and also playing a bit shorter is better this FIFA, I feel, because of how nerfed heading is. If it was FIFA 19, I'd probably suggest going a bit taller, but because of how inconsistent heading is, I think 5'10" is the way this FIFA.
Okay, so Mike, I see here in physical you have no skill points on. What's the reason for this?
Well, especially because I'm playing right attacking midfield, I feel like 71 strength is definitely doable, especially against fullbacks, and I don't really feel a need to have any stamina or jumping points on. Jumping because heading is not very good, and stamina because I don't really sprint back that often and help the defense. I like to sort of just slide back, get position, and then and just hold there. I don't really try and sprint around and win the ball back like a DM. So yeah.
Okay, so this is an obvious one, Mike, but why do you have no defending on?
Oh, well, being an attacker, you don't really need the tackling or the interceptions, but still, 64 odd tackling and marking is definitely still good enough for an attacker. You'll definitely win a few tackles from...
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? Because you still see attackers getting around like 6 to 7 tackles in a game.
Yeah, definitely. You still win a few tackles from attacking midfield, or you definitely tackle a few centre-backs with that tackling, so yeah, it's definitely good enough.
Okay, so I'm in the dribbling section now. Mike, why have you chosen these skill points for dribbling?
I've gone very heavy on the agility, skill moves, dribbling, and ball control because I feel in the attack, especially in a wide area, one of your jobs is to beat your defender, get past them. So I feel like maxing out the agility at 89 for me is definitely good for those quick left stick turns and whatnot. And then I've obviously gone with the 5-star skills because I feel some of the effective skill moves this FIFA to beat defenders are skills such as the running scoop turn and the elastico both ways. So that's why I've gone with that selection of skill points.
Okay, so we're in the passing section now. Why have you chosen the long pass on the left-hand side and a few of the short passing?
Definitely when you're in attack, I feel like you need a few skill points in the passing area just so you can pick out your teammates. I've gone with a bit of long passing for those long LBY through balls, the over-the-top through balls. I feel 83 is definitely good enough to pick out your opposite attacker with a nice over-the-top through ball. And then I've gone with a few points in the short passing to get that up to 82, which I feel is definitely good enough for those R1X passes rather than just 1-2s with your DM or other midfielders. And I've also gone with not much, actually no crossing at all, because I feel that 78 is good enough to pick out your man, even though I don't
it's RNG anyway, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't really think you should be crossing that much, only in certain situations, and then I've obviously not got any set piece or giant throwing on or anything, so I'm not a fullback. So yeah.
Okay, so Mike, we're in the shooting section now. Why have you chosen these skill points?
Yep. I've allocated my skill points in these areas because I really wanted that 5-star weak foot. I feel like that it's probably more important than 5-star skills and any other stat this FIFA. Being able to be unpredictable and go into either foot, I feel, is honestly the most important thing this FIFA. So most of my skill points are based around being able to get that. Like there's a few in penalties, but that's just so I can get the 5-star weak foot. I've also avoided the power header trait because obviously only 5'10", the likelihood of winning a header over a fullback or a centre back is quite unlikely. So I feel that's a bit useless. And then I've decided to also avoid the finesse shot trait because I feel it was a bit too expensive and wasn't really good value for my skill points.
Okay, so we come into the last thing, pace. Mike, why have you chosen everything on pace?
I feel this section is quite self-explanatory. Every FIFA pace is very important, especially in pro clubs. So I've gone with all the pace attributes just to make sure I can, like if I'm through on goal, I can get away from the centre-backs using the right stick touches. Or if I make a run in behind, I can make sure I can actually get in behind that fullback. So I feel that's very important, having all the skill points on pace.
Okay, so Mike, that's all the skill points done. So can you please give me your first tip for other attackers?
My first tip would be to be unpredictable in the attack. This is not just for dribbling, but also for passing. I'd say with your skill moves, make sure you try and vary them up a little bit. If you've gone byline a few times and it's not quite worked, maybe try and cut inside and look for another teammate. And also with your passes, if you've played a lot of short passes inside to your midfielders, or maybe a long pass down the line, maybe look for a switch or an LBY across the other side of the pitch. So just trying to switch it up and keep the defense guessing.
Okay, thanks for that, Mike. So now we're going to the second tip.
So my second tip for attackers will be to get shots off. I think when you're in and around the box, or sometimes maybe just inside the box, getting shots off is a very good way of creating a goal scoring chance. Not just because of the shot itself, but if the opposition are stacking lots of numbers in the box, then getting a shot off can cause like a deflection, which can fall to another teammate who can then tap it in. Or it can also trouble the goalkeeper. They could parry it and it could fall to a dangerous area. So I feel like getting shots off, especially inside the box and just outside the box, is very important to improving as a team and as an attacker.
Okay, so now onto the final tip.
So for this third tip, I'm just going to go through 3 of my favourite skill moves that I like to use in 11v11 Pro Clubs games. The first one is a nice and simple one, which is the ball rolls. I feel like ball rolls and then doing a quick left stick turn can be very helpful when you're in tight situations when the other team are swarming you in. So I feel like that is very helpful, and every attacker should definitely have a good ball roll in their arsenal. The second skill move would be the running fake shot / running scoop turn. The running scoop turn is of course a 5-star skill move, so if you decide to not put 5-star skill moves on, then the running fake shot is for you. But I feel like this is very important. Maybe if the defender gets nice and tight to you, you can do a running fake shot or running scoop turn to just quickly burst away from them and then find a pass to your teammate. And then the third helpful skill move, I think, are the step overs. Step overs are very unpredictable and possibly my favourite skill move this FIFA. You can go either way with them, and they're a very quick skill move that you can maybe get a quick shot off or a quick pass off straight out of the skill move.
Okay, thanks Mike for coming on, I really appreciate that. So where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/n8_MikeJ. I'll be streaming 11v11 Pro Clubs on there and some Foot Champions and Foot every now and again.
Thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos with me collaborating with top players.